Let's just go live. Let's just hope that this starts somewhat at the right position. I welcome you all to another live stream. It's been a long time since the last one, but here we go again, finally. And I guess today we'll create the final boss fight of Will You Snail. The Steam store page is already up and running, which is why I put this giant advertisement there. I hope this is not too intrusive, but as I'm not using that space there anyway, might as well fill it with some useful stuff. Link to that is in the description if you want to do me a little favor. Then you can just do the 2 clicks and wishlist the game. Even if you don't end up buying it, that is still highly appreciated. Hello, Battle Says, Gustav, Darksoon, all of the usual fanboys are all here already. Welcome, welcome. Jalenko, Darksoon, Zoe, Toby. Good to have you. Okay, I actually have a couple of different ideas for the boss, and we still have to decide on one of them. But perhaps we'll wait for a couple more people to join, and then we can have a vote for what you think should be the final boss of the game. Till then, perhaps if you want, you can ask me a couple of questions, of course. Good luck on the stream today. Thank you very much. Gustav, what's up? By the way, if the audio is too loud, if it's clipping, or if it's too silent, please let me know. It's always hard to tell when you're the one streaming. Hope we don't have any lag. Yeah. Okay. That probably means it's fine. In the last days, I've mostly been working on difficulty balancing, getting the difficulty of all these levels right. Now I hope that the music is not too loud. Perhaps I'll make it just a tiny little bit more silent. Here we go. Shout me out, please. What do you want me to Why? Audio is fine. How did you start learning game dev? Did you went to school for it? Yeah, I went to game school in Berlin, but I've started making games quite a while before that. If you're interested in the details, then you can check out the video where I talk about that. It's called something like my game dev journey or something like that. But yes, I made a lot of games before game school, and then I also went to game school. And then I quit game school. Fun story. Yeah. I don't think you need game school, but if you find a good game school, sure, why not, you know? Am I looking good? Yeah. Do you like my style today? my funky antenna. You DRM'd me on Instagram. Yeah, I don't check Instagram very often at the moment. Unity or Godot is how it's pronounced, right? Depends on the game you're making, I would say, and I'm not sure I'm experienced enough with Godot to really make an educated call on that either. I think Unity is a fine option pretty much no matter which game you're going for, but a good Godot user would probably say the same about Godot, so who knows. What is that in your headphone? Well, that helps me to detect aliens nearby. Hi, nice to see you. Okay, now we have a couple of people around. Actually, I wanted to show you a couple of the levels I've balanced, but now that we actually have people here, let's get started on the boss fight. Let me tell you the ideas I have for the final boss fight. This is basically the antagonist of the game, this purple face representing the AI. Maybe I should show you that real quick in game, so you can see what I'm talking about, because this is actually a little bit of an issue. It's a little bit of a... Oh my god, this makes really weird sounds, my antenna, when I'm talking. It's a little bit of an issue because here, say something, AI, come on.
Make humans great again.
That's basically the antagonist of the game that mocks you for the entirety of the game, and then in the end, of course, you get to fight it. Problem is, as you can see, it's not really a very physical thing that you can touch or shoot, so that makes it a little tricky. How do you fight that thing? So we need to give it some sort of representation in space, so you can actually interact with it. And for that, there are a couple of different options. Option number one, the AI kind of takes control of a giant robot, and I'd assume that robot would look a little dumb, so that's why I called this option dumb robot. So some weird, funny shaped robot thing. Could have a different shape as well. This is just a sketch to kind of show what I'm talking about. Option number two, we go for something a little more evil and serious and perhaps put the AI into a giant flying drone so it can fly through the level and then you can shoot and interact with the drone instead. Option number three is one thing that I think is kind of interesting as well, because it would allow me to keep that loose representation of the AI with that flying face. And that would just have a swarm of drones or a swarm of flying enemies, and then the AI would basically not have a physical representation and just be that flying face that you can't touch and interact with, but you can destroy its drones, and then perhaps every time you destroy one, it flickers and says ouchie or something like that, and then in the end, you've destroyed it. And then, of course, as our game is getting very glitchy and crazy, in the end, perhaps a good boss fight would also just be a giant swirl of flying objects and strange glitches that could be spitting all sorts of different objects that can harm you, so that would allow for a lot of creative freedom in the boss fight as well. So I think I already have my favorites here, but I'm really interested in what you guys think. So if you've listened to all of that, then you can post 1, 2, 3, 4 or anything like that in the chat. Another option would be combining 2 and 3. We could have a giant drone for the AI and then it could still be backed up by a swarm surrounding it. If you're for that option, you can write 2 plus 3. Yeah, that's the options I have. We'll decide now and then we'll start making it. And I haven't been reading chat because that is tricky doing everything at once, but I'll do so now. 1 sec. A giant saltwater shark. Now that would fit into the water levels. $40 for a year. I guess I'm lacking the context for that. The dumb robot could be fun. You like the swirl? Make the boss a hacker. I mean, the AI will be the boss for sure. 4, 4, 4 or 3. 2 plus 3, 3, 2 plus 3, 3. Oh my god. Okay, I see a lot of 4s actually. Okay, but sometimes that's this. Okay, that is 4 times 4 by stocked ideas. Shark, oh my god, you're not making the decision easy on me. Holy. Can I speak German? Yeah, that happens automatically every once in a while when I do that on accident. 1 or 2. A lot of dumb robot minions. That would basically be 1 plus 3. 2 and 4. Yeah, I mean that's an option as well. We could also start out as a drone, and then perhaps it gets glitchier and glitchier over time, and crazier, and it turns more and more into a swirl. I think that is probably a pretty good compromise anyway. That whatever we start with, as the boss fight progresses, it turns more and more into a crazy swirl of stuff flying around. That could also feel a little more climactic than the other things we have here on the moon. Yeah, I guess we'll do something like that then. We'll start out with number 2 and then slowly make our way to 4, and perhaps we can have a little bit of 3 in there as well. I mean, I'm not quite sure. Honestly, I have to say, before I asked you for your opinion, I was kind of tending towards 2 plus 3. Because these drones here could perhaps make for some interesting attack patterns as well when they form different shapes and different tech moves, but I mean, that's a lot of work to code anyway, so perhaps this is the smarter move. Jonas, let's live in your world. Surprise us. Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's my game and I have to decide. I get that, but what's the point of live streaming if I don't ask you as well? I'm kind of interested in what you think. I'll ask you for your opinion and then I'll make the decision. Sounds like a fair deal, right? Wishing you good luck. Thank you. Maybe it can start with a swarm and final will be swirl. Yeah, obviously that would be an option as well. We could also... Wow, why the hell is this not green? Hello, I selected green pen. That would be an option as well, I guess. That would be a strange option here. Going from a dumb robot to a swirl, so... From 2 to 3 or from... sorry, numbers. From 2 to 4 or from 3 to 4 would be reasonable options. Max Gaming, you mean we could go through all stages? Yeah, we could do that as well. But I'd rather do maybe 2 of them right than do 4 of them meh. Quality before quantity. 2 plus 3 would be such a cool boss. Why you have a toothbrush on my ear? That is not a toothbrush, but good guess. Guess again. If someone gets it right, I will... Oops. I will let you know what this is. But only if you guess it right. How long is the game gonna be? Probably about 3 hours, 4 hours is what I'm assuming. But depends on how good you are. You're naked already? Okay. Good to know, thanks. 2, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, maybe 2 of them will be enough. Yeah, I think so as well. 2 of them would be enough. Okay, so let's once again final poll. This option is called A. This option is called B. Why are my letters so big? Who cares? And this option is called C. A, B, C. Please no spamming, otherwise it gets difficult for me to see how much of every kind we have. We all seem to agree that ending it in a crazy swirl seems like a good idea, but what should we start with? Should we start with the dumb robot, with the drone, or should we start with the swarm? It's an egg yolk. An egg yolk separator. No, oh man, you were so close. That's not it. It's an egg holder. Yes, you got it right. Perfect. B, C, B, B, C, B, 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 B. I mean, it's once again a little hard to tell because some people are posting twice B, but I feel like I'm reading a lot of B. Yeah, B. Okay, B it is. Okay, okay. I think that is a fine option actually. that feels like a worthy boss fight. Should we save that weird sketch? Okay, let's save it. Bzz, 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 bzz. Boss. No? Hello? Time to humiliate myself with my computer skills. Could I please turn caps lock off? Thank you very much. Boss sketches. Okay, time to start coding. And let's close that. 90% say B, yeah. B and C are both good. Alrighty. Then let's maybe prototype the level layout a little bit. One thing is for certain, we need a bigger level. One that is worthy of a final boss fight. But perhaps not too big either. Yeah, something like that. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 ba. A little higher as well. Here we go. Looks fine to me. And then we probably want this drone to be really big so it looks dangerous and boss worthy. So I assume we'll put maybe a drone of this size in the center somewhere here, which means it won't be able to move around a lot. Or should it perhaps be a little smaller? Or should the room just be bigger? I'm not sure. But as you can see, this white outline is pretty much as you can see on one screen. So perhaps this size is enough for a drone. That is still a very big and boss-worthy size. But then once again, that an entire AI phase has to fit onto that somehow. So yeah, I feel like it should be at least this size. Let's use that as a placeholder. And then we can design the level around it. And people say sometimes Jonas doesn't look at the chat when he's working on something. I don't know who claims that, but I don't think that is true at all. Let's move the player down here. Oop. Then one very interesting question that I've already been wondering about is, should we allow the player to move on top of the enemy drone here? Because usually if we have the player at the bottom and the drone at the top, then the drone feels a lot more dangerous, whereas if you're on the top, then it feels like you're in the more powerful position. So I'm not sure if I want to allow the player to go up there. But then once again, in terms of level design, it all makes sense to not make a one-dimensional level down here, but to use the 2 dimensions we have to our full advantage. So I think for now I'll try to allow the player to go up there. You didn't start Will You Snail in Unity? Oh my god, so hard to join your discussions when I'm already busy doing something else. Minecraft and Roblox. Did I start making this game in Roblox? Not sure what to say. I started this game in Game Maker. Is that necessarily a better choice than Roblox? Who knows? We can argue about that. And then a lot of which level design makes sense here will also come down to the question which attacks this drone here can do. Maybe we shouldn't allow the player to go all the way to the other side. I'm not sure. How will you even deal damage to that drone? That is the next question. So many questions. But I'm sure we'll figure it out. Actually, one of the good things in GameMaker is that the coding part usually doesn't take all that long, so I assume we'll get some prototype of this up and running today. We can see at the very least how this plays in terms of gameplay. Then in terms of graphics, obviously, this will probably need another pass. But I expect that we'll get this running at the very least a little bit in terms of gameplay. I definitely expect that. The question is with walls here, they allow for a little more freedom and movement, which is usually feels a little nicer because there are more ways you can go. But then at the same time, perhaps that blocks the movement of this drone and blocks projectiles that could be coming your way. So I'm not 100% sure how I like this, but I mean, we'll have to figure it out. You can't know how it works before you've tried it. Why am I talking so much? I usually don't talk that much. Where's all of the speech coming from? Hello, Brown Rice, welcome. You have a short question. You're lucky. I caught it on stream. Jeez. How do you avoid that things are falling through the collider? Which game engine are you talking about, Pierre? Shared. Are you talking about GameMaker or talking about Unity? You're making a game about Storm Area 51? Oh yeah. That could be an interesting game. A lot of creative freedom there as well. I mean, what will be inside? Who knows? You're glad to see me streaming again? Yeah, I think we'll probably do this every once in a while now. As you might have noticed, I changed the name of the live streams from gamedev daily to gamedev live because I don't think daily is accurate anymore. But I think we're perhaps once a week, something like that. Okay. I'd love to keep rambling and adding blocks in random positions, but I think the first test layout of this level is probably complete. And then just for the funsies, let's put some guns up there that you can pick up. Okay. Now the question is, of course, how this giant drone in the middle here will look like, but I just say for now, let's just create a placeholder. Maybe we should even create a very, very obvious placeholder, because sometimes when I say let's create a placeholder, I just keep it because I'm too lazy to change the graphic again. Spur final boss. Here we go. Now, how big is that approximately? Deep. Hard to tell. Let's go for 600, 300, 600, 400. Oh yeah. Not bad. In terms of aspect ratio, I guess. Here we go. I'm making this a very ugly placeholder on purpose, so I have a clear motivation to replace this later. Then we somehow need to fit the animated AI face in here. If you're bored, just go to Steam and wishlist the game. Thank you very much. Okay, let's do it. Let's collision mask. Well, collision mask is always a little dumb when it's not a rectangle. Whatever, let's just pick precise. Who cares about performance? And then let's create the boss. ABJ boss. Oh. Is that already the correct size that we want to have? Yeah, perhaps, because it still probably still get some stuff on the sides here as well. Okay, let's prototype that in there so we can see approximately how big it will be. Somewhat like this. This is the keeping the enemy in the air thingy. Whatever that might be. Oh my god, this looks so horrible. Okay. And then let me skip ahead to that level so we can test it. Battlezess is leaving. See ya. Everyone always uses OBG on object, meanwhile I'm only using O. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, then you don't have to write as much. Oh jeez. I guess you have to click through the entire game. I mean, I could have implemented an hotkey to get there faster, but no. Okay, here we are. Oh my goodness. Okay, perhaps I need to make it a little bit less ugly, because I really can't look at that and take it serious at the same time. Yeah, no. We can't work like that, I'm afraid. First of all, let's remove this super ugly face. I'd rather have no face than this. Okay. Yellow outline. Let's try yellow outline. Okay, and oops, no. Let's make it also a little bit darker. Do you have Easter eggs in the game? No, but I have a lot of time remaining to put Easter eggs in there. You could drag the boss level to the top? Yeah, I could do that. But I mean, the game already saves, so I just had to do that once. Oh, okay. This is still not the nicest placeholder ever, but it's a placeholder. Now, first question, should that be able to fly past walls? Should be able to fly on top of walls? Here come the really interesting questions. What should this boss do? Who knows? Ja. Yeah, see, that's one of the nice things about GameMaker. You can test certain things super quickly. Come at me! Come on! You're from Bangladesh? Hey, that's cool. Really nice. People from all around the world. Oh my god, where's the... Where does the boss go? Did I accidentally... Oh yeah. Those need to be the other way around. Good Pixels is asking, is the beginning of the game different now, or is the starting point not the beginning? What do you mean? I mean, the game saves itself now, so this is not the beginning of the game, of course. Doesn't start with a boss fight, no. Okay, this is perhaps a little bit too fast. Plus some things are layered a little strangely there. But in general, I like the fact that this drone could go on top of the walls. What do you think? Should be able to go on top of walls? I think a boss that gets stuck on walls is not that scary. So it probably should. Haha, I'm chasing you. Oh. And you can see the face in the background chilling there. We'll put that on top of the drone later. Or for that to work, we might have to shrink it down a bit. That is still too fast. Okay, so usually when you do a boss fight, it has different attack patterns, right? So I'm thinking let's do that as well. Just start that out with 0. See, and then we can do a switch statement here. Switch attack pattern. And then depending on the attack pattern, we can execute different code. Case 0, Then perhaps we can have an attack pattern where the drone attacks more quickly. Or it chases you. And for that, GameMaker has a nice feature as well. We can just define macros here. Macro boss pattern follow. I don't want to bother with that. Let's just use numbers for now. And Eh, Then here a variable for counting how long this pattern has been active for. Can just count that up here because that will pretty much always happen. Then here we can say if this pattern has been active for more than 5 seconds, then we'll go to the next attack pattern. I feel like this is a very, very nice code structure for a boss, because I could even go to a random attack pattern here if I wanted to, or I can just cycle them like this. See? And then this attack pattern will only be 3 seconds long. Voila. Let's check it out. It seems strange that you can't collide with the boss. Well, colliding with the boss will just kill you. Okay, is that the normal attack speed? Oh, I can't really tell it apart. Did I even give it a different attack speed for both of that? Yes, I did. Okay. Well, now I should be able to tell it apart. Let's check it out. Maybe hover in the middle and shoot as one pattern. Definitely, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that as well. Why is it so quick? Which pattern is it on? Is this really the slow movement pattern? What the hell? As you can see, everything is working perfectly as intended. Ah! There's an important feature missing, which is the break. Oopsie doopsie. That explains everything. Can you make a tutorial on how to make a simple boss fight? Yeah, I guess I can do that someday. Problem with tutorial requests is often that they're very specific, and before I do anything specific, I'd like to cover the basics. Don't feel like I've covered the basics yet. Next tutorial I'll do is probably how to animate stuff in Unity. That has been requested a lot, and I feel like that is also something that's a little more basic that a lot more people could use. Why is this not going back to the other attack pattern? Baba. Of course, this needs to be reset whenever we change the pattern. Okay, now we should have finally 2 attack patterns that exchange one after another. What's us asking how's it going? It's going quite well. Okay. So I think I'll just create an event here for restarting this boss. I'm not sure how we'll do that. We need to somehow find a way to reset this boss, because levels don't reset themselves automatically in this game. Let's make sure that we actually get killed when we touch the boss. Duplicate event. When we collide with the boss, we die. Fair enough. And then let's make sure the level is reset correctly once we die. There, I need to go into scripts. Give me 1 sec. This won't take very long. Here, room reset. What I'll do here is just save the start position of the boss. Then we'll destroy the boss, and then we'll create the boss. On which layer did I put it? On the traps layer. Okay. Boss X, boss Y. Traps. Object boss. Very nice. So that should reset the level correctly. Let's check if it works, and if it does, then we can start implementing new attack patterns. Oh my god, this is actually working quite quickly. Bam!
Absolutely desperate.
You are absolutely desperate. I am absolutely desperate. Yeah, actually, you're right. Speaking of desperate, have you wishlisted the game yet? No? Why are you still here? Okay. Seems like this is working as intended. Level is restarting correctly. That is very nice, which means now let's do an attack pattern where it just fires into every direction. Schnabelter. And then in order to save performance, we'll just save this layer, the spikes layer. Layer spikes equals layer get ID. Then we can just use the ID, which saves a little bit of performance when we spawn bullets and stuff like that. So here it will just return to its starting position with speed 2. And then once it has reached the center... Well, now let's actually not do that just yet. We don't need that. Let's just instantiate these like crazy. I'll make sure this goes to attack pattern 2, so we don't want to skip out on that. This attack pattern should maybe last something like 10 seconds for the sake of testing. 7 seconds. And then we can just say instance create layer XY layer B spikes. That is the one we just saved. Object bad ball. Yeah. Can save that bullet into a variable as well, which means now we can set the direction of that bullet. Bullet dot direction equals random 360. Let's just make it fire into all directions for now. And then bullet dot speed can be perhaps 10, 15. Here we go. Okay, let's try it out. You're making games without engine and with Java. I mean, it's possible. Minecraft did it as well, I guess. Like having the ability of having a component-based system. Yeah, I mean, Unity and Godot are both very useful in that.
What a shame.
It's true. I sometimes miss that in GameMaker. Ah, jeez! Okay, now the question is, should we make this just survive kind of boss fight, or should we... Damn it, I don't even get to attack wave 3.
Did you do that on purpose?
Ah, how did I do that?
Don't like it.
Shut up. Damn it. Why is it so hard? What am I doing wrong? How did I do that? I made it work. I mean, I could just make it easier, but no. I want to make it work! It's too hard. Clearly. As you can see. This is not due to me not knowing how to play my game. This is because it's too hard. Here you go. And then this year, it's perhaps as I expected, maybe this should have a little bit of a delay, that it doesn't start shooting right away. So if this has been active for more than 2 seconds, then it starts shooting. A little bit of a higher speed, so it's in the center more quickly. You will stick to Unity. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Unity whatsoever. I really like Unity. Yeah, but how? I mean, I just made it slower. Jonas, why is it that you're still not able to run away? Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Yeah, that looks really cool though, I like it. Is that boss fight worthy? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Geesh, I don't even survive the 3rd phase of the boss fight. Very embarrassing. And then the question is, so which gun should we give the player? I feel like we should probably go through all 3 over the course of the boss fight. By the way, can you hear me? Is my voice and the music somewhat balanced? I hope so. If not, please let me know in the chat that I'm barely having a look at. I'm sorry. I have to decide between making game and reading chat. Which is a very hard decision because both of those activities are very fun. I like it. I like it. I feel like we should probably start with a gun that shoots upwards, as that is the easiest one to control. Come on, let me... I nearly survived that pattern. But actually, I think this difficulty is about right for this kind of game, because usually Will You Snail levels are very short. I don't want the boss fight to be too long either, so I'd rather have a couple of pretty difficult phases than a really long boss fight. I don't like long boss fights. If they're short like this, then at least you can try again real quick. You don't have to replay 30 minutes of fighting. By the way, this is still placeholder music. I didn't make this myself. Still have to replace that for the final game. But it helps me to get in the correct mood for making boss fight, you know. Oh no, I didn't collect the gun. No. Do you think you should have the gun right from the get-go, or do you think it's cooler when you have to collect the gun first? What do you think? Let me read chat actually for a little bit. Let me catch up with you. Make glitch that changes the platform. I mean, one idea I had is basically having even more boss levels, and then, as I've said, I don't want the player to replay too much. So basically, we have. I'm not sure how to call this. I would like to call it boss stages, but I already used that terminology here for these boss stages. I mean, boss stages, where you have a different level layout. So perhaps that's a good idea. We could use that as a checkpoint whenever the level layout glitches to something else. We could also have a checkpoint at that position. Good idea. It's cooler to collect the gun, yeah. Then you feel a little bit helpless in the beginning, and then you have to earn your power. Get used to bullet hell games, people. Yeah, bullet hell game. A lot of developers seem to make bullet hell games. I'm not sure why that is. Is that because it's easy to make? That's probably one of the reasons. I mean, for a bullet hell game, I mean, what is... There's really not a lot you can do wrong in a bullet hell game, I feel like. Or is there? I'm not sure. More boss. Okay. Yeah, more boss. Were my explanation skills not enough to to explain what I was trying to say? That might very well be the case. If platform blocks bullets, you can literally go AFK when the boss shoots you. Okay, did someone suggest that the walls should block bullets? I feel like interactions with the walls and with the terrain are definitely important. The main reason why they're not blocking bullets at the moment is because didn't really spend a thought on it. I just reused a bullet object that I already had in game that is not blocked by walls. But I think that's a good point. If we make it blocked by walls, then you can just hide between walls, and that would not exactly make for a very interesting gameplay. But perhaps we could have a couple of different attacks that do interact with the walls. Let's, for example, next attack I want to try is a bunch of laser beams, and those will be blocked by the walls. Five, he did host his own game jam a few months ago. Yes, and in case you're talking about me, we'll probably do a game jam again sometime. I'm thinking probably at the beginning of next year again. Then we can just make it a yearly thing. Last one was, I think, in January this year. So next game jam could be in January again, perhaps. It's a little bit of work to organize, and it feels more like a special thing if it's just once a year, I feel like. So let's stick to once or twice a year. It still feels weird that the boss can go through platforms and low effort. Yeah, but the cool thing about it is that it can chase you then. if it can't go through walls, we can do that as well, but then the chasing attack will be gone. I kind of like the fact that the boss can come really close and personal to you, you know? And we don't have to forget that one reason why it feels really cheap and crappy at the moment might also have something to do with the placeholder graphic. Just a thought. Okay. Let's vote. What do you think? Should it be able to go through walls or not? Let me know. If enough people say it shouldn't be able to go through walls, then we'll just move those two attack patterns where it follows you around. And while I wait for your opinions to come in, I'll just code the next attack pattern, which will be a bunch of lasers. Ooh, yeah. You know, what I'm thinking is a boss that can move, has more freedom to move around and get close to you, has a little more opportunities than one that has to sit in the center of the screen all the time. We could make it move around here. See, it doesn't fit in anywhere. If it can't go over walls, then it's stuck in the middle here. I'm not sure. Go through walls, yeah. Maybe slow the boss a bit. 2 types of bullets. Ah, you have to switch back to screen. Oh, thank you. Geesh, I'm showing stuff, right, and nobody's seeing anything. Yeah, here. That's where the boss will be stuck. Apparently this happens to the best. I think Thomas Brush did this recently as well, where he played a game for half an hour and didn't switch back from his facecam. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Whew. Make lasers get deflected. You'll see the kind of lasers I mean in a second. I'm not sure if laser deflection for those work, but we can also do maybe a more projectile-based laser that can deflect it. That's a good idea as well. Thank you very much for the ideas. It scales through the space between walls, so it gets smaller when it doesn't fit. I mean, yeah, that would be an idea as well. Make it spin to add more randomness, maybe. Yeah, but that is more of a visual thing, right? Let's worry about the gameplay first and then worry about the visuals later. If we even get to that point. Wait a second, why is laser trap the correct one? What the hell, what is the correct one? Object AI laser warning, what the hell? Why does that have AI in its name? Whatever. Okay, I'll just have to peek real quick how I do that in the AI object, and then I can copy paste the code from there, hopefully. AI. Spikes, cats, fireworks, bad balls, spikes, lasers. Very nice. Will we ever make it to this part of the boss? Who knows? How's that object? General. Oops. Okay, that will be a lot of lasers. Let's see. So this will for sure be one attack that where we'll have to hide between a wall or something. Otherwise we'll not be able to survive that. And other than that, it looks fine. Let's try it out. Make the boss teleport. Oh. Yeah, that is an option as well. Oh, Blackthorn Prod. Hey, welcome. Oh, you're releasing a new video. Are your holidays finally over, Blackthorn? I'm very excited. Abba-jabba-da-bee. Let's see if we can get to the fourth attack. I really like that attack where it follows you around, but perhaps we can... If you don't want it to be able to go over these walls, then perhaps we can find a different solution. No, that was so close. Okay, let's actually switch those two attacks. I can't be bothered to actually beat this. Here you go. Yep, holiday's over. Okay. Okay. When will the Dreadful Whispers come out? You already have a release schedule? Or you just wanna see... Oh! Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. Holy hell, that's a lot of lasers. Probably too many lasers. But you definitely need to hide behind the wall for that. Yeah, that was not a good wall to hide behind. That attack looks kinda cool though. Once again, a very boss-worthy attack. Just a couple too many lasers for performance, that is really not necessary. From here we'll go to 2, from here we'll go to 3, Okay, now they will cycle normally. Then this attack really doesn't need to be all that long, to maybe 2 seconds. That sounds like it's probably enough. And yeah, here I wanted to reduce the amount a little bit. If random 1 is smaller than 0.... Yeah, let's cut it in half for now. I'm always wondering what makes these strange noises until I remember. That's probably this thing right here. This looks really cool. Does the AI have a name? Yeah, it's called Squid, which is a name I like. No, what is this? Where did my code go? What the hell? Does the AI dude a name? I've just told you. But maybe stream delay hasn't caught on yet. We always have a little bit of of delay on the stream, unfortunately, about 20 seconds or something like that. Okay, one thing I want to do is remove the unnecessary guns. And then perhaps as the next action we can give our boss HP. Like, do we want it to have HP? I mean, if you can shoot it, then it obviously needs HP, otherwise we could make it a time-based thing. But if we do it like this, then yes, it needs HP. That's a good name? Okay, I'm happy you like it as well. Is what I meant to say. Pew 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 pew. Oh yeah, and then the AI starts making pew 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 as well. And you could also save a lot of performance there by just making the AI shoot in the direction where the player is standing, but then it wouldn't look as epic anymore. I have a feeling that in boss fights the show aspect is pretty important as well. You want it to look overpowered and powerful, though if we can make it shoot in random directions for entertainment, then heck yeah, let's do it. Let's make it a little bit easier just for the sake of testing. I can't defeat it. Here you go. The boss should have to aim. You mean it should just fire in your direction? Oh yeah. This is a lot more manageable. Over there. Okay. Apparently still too hard for me. Nice. Yeah, that attack is really cool. Okay. See, basic boss fight up and running. Let's give it HP, because that is probably the next logical thing to do, and then if we don't like some of the attack patterns, then we can still remove them later. That's no big deal either. Let's give it HP 1000, HP max 1000 as well, and then when we collide with one of these projectiles, where are they? They're mini games, right? Mini games, shooter, projectile. With other do instance destroy and instance, no instance create, we'll just say HP minus 10. And then should we draw the HP bar on top of the enemy? No, that's where the face of the AI will be, so we'll draw it at the top of the screen. Which in Game Maker should be also relatively easy. 10, 10. And we'll see if this scales to all resolutions. It's always a little... not quite sure about that. HP divided by HP max times 100. Purple. Because purple is the color of the AI. Direction 0. True. False. Okay, now we should have an HP bar. Let's check it. Let's check it out. You like pizza? Which kind of pizza? Maybe make a homing missile attack pattern where you can't shoot. Where you can shoot the AI's bullets. Oh yeah, that sounds fun. That's a good idea. How do you like GameMaker? I haven't used it since the first studio version. It's good for some use cases. It's not good for every use case. That's my opinion. Definitely quite a good engine for game jams and for smaller 2D projects, I would say. Damn it. How could I mess that up? Oh. Actually drain its life quite quickly. Yeah, that HP bar looks a little strange at the top there still, especially the color. Perhaps we'll go for something like red, I'm not sure. Then we make it a little bigger. Here we go. How does that look for a boss HP bar? I mean, HP bar is probably placeholder as well, but no. Shouldn't look super horrible. I feel like the shape of that is okay, just the colors. What, orange? Orange? Orange, somebody? Color should match the room, yeah. What? That is orange. That is what you call orange, GameMaker. Ah, color should match the room. I mean, there's a very easy way of doing that, of course. We can just use the color from the level styler. And then, for example, use the wall outline color. Why didn't I think of that? Very good idea. Thank you. Make the health bar thinner, yeah. That health bar width thing is always a little tricky. Thicker health bar looks stronger, but then also what's the point of having a super thick health bar, right? Takes away space unnecessarily. Yeah, make the boss explode when it's defeated and then it turns into the giant swirl. I like that idea. Good idea. I mean, if we have different boss stages, then the boss can also look different in all parts of the boss fight. Perhaps that health bar is a little too thin now. I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's not bother with the health bar too much, because that's not really that important. Joan is very important. Is it spelled color or color? I mean, that depends on whether you're going for UK or USA grammar, I think, spelling. I think both is fine, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, at the moment, defeating it is definitely quite simple. That and didn't manage to do it. But you see, I already almost had it to 0 HP. So that clearly needs more HP. This is a boss fight, goddammit. The health bar of the level blends in with the outline of the level, so it's hard to see where when it lines up with the outline of the top level, yeah. What's my favorite game? That is a good question. I have a lot of games that I really like. StarCraft, obviously one of my all-time favorites. Portal 2, great. The Talos Principle. Yeah, this amount of HP maybe is a little more reasonable. By the way, have we agreed on the fact that it can go over walls? I think so, right? It's not going over them, it's just in front of the walls. Obviously. Duh. No! God damn it, I jumped into a laser. Okay, but I think this is already playable. Nice. For maybe 1 hour of work or whatever we did on this pretty reasonable progress. Oh no, it's very close. Rubber. I really like that chasing attack. I really like it. Here, bring it on. No! Do you think I can defeat this boss? Probably not, because it's not destroyed yet when it runs out of HP. You can't win yet. God damn it. Let's make these projectiles a little bit slower. I'm a bad loser. I mean, boss fight is supposed to be hard, but I can't test it like this. And then at some later point I'll have to look at this again and do the difficulty balancing for this, because there are 4 difficulty settings. We need to balance this for easy, medium, hard, and impossible difficulty. This is definitely not the difficulty I would like to play this on, or perhaps it is, but not for playtesting. Let's make those bullets a little bit slower. I feel like they're a tiny bit too fast. Here. Koki, bye, thanks for joining in. I'm still accepting ideas for attack patterns, by the way. Not sure if this stage needs more attack pattern. Perhaps if we make a 3-stage boss fight, then next up it could split up into a drone swarm. When you hit it often enough, it just bursts into pieces, and then you have a bunch of drones, and then in stage 3 it turns into the giant swirl. Perhaps we can combine more things than I thought, because prototyping this didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. Huh? Why did it fire in all directions this time? I mean, not that I'm complaining, it's just a little weird. I guess I could use some more attack patterns. Okay, and now it has 0 HP, meaning we defeated it. One idea I really liked were the homing missiles that we can also shoot and destroy, so let's do those next. I think I already have a sprite that we can use for that. Jibba-jabba-ja. Turba. These torpedoes. Will they serve as a placeholder? Yeah, I guess so. Spur missile. Object missile, of course. Object boss missile. Meaning, let's add a new attack pattern. Attack pattern number 4, where we spawn these missiles that follow you around. And those should probably also be blocked by walls, I think. Okay, now there are a couple of different ways how we could code these missiles. For now, let's go for the easiest approach. And if the easiest approach doesn't work, then we can still come up with something else. These are destroyed when they collide with walls. Here we go. Very easy. An attack could be lobs. A bomb that explodes when touching a wall into more bullets. Oh yeah. That sounds cool as well. Try to remember all of those good ideas. If you know what you know, would you still use Game Maker for Will You Snail? No. No, probably not. Honestly. It's very hard to judge, because sometimes when prototyping stuff like this is clearly faster prototyping than in Unity. But then when it comes to code architecture and making sure you have a clean project and localization and all of those weird things, then working with Unity is just nicer. Okay. And when they collide with a projectile, minigames. Shooter, projectile, HP -1. HP of that could be something like 3. And if HP is small or equal to 0, that missile will be destroyed as well. Okay. And because I want to test this out a little more easily, let's actually start on this attack pattern. Let's start on pattern number 4. Weak point might be good for the swerve phase, where you have to hit a specific spot. Yeah. Lol. Lol. This is looking exactly as intended. Not. Yeah, this comes with a lot of weird layering issues once again. What if the missiles hit the wall, but you can't see it because the enemy is blocking the way? Gotta reorder the layers a little bit there. Perhaps you have to put the boss in the background instead of the foreground, but that could be weird as well. Koki, bye, I will sleep now. Okay, which time is it? In your time zone, here it is 6 p.m. Almost. 5:30. Yeah. So still a while till I have to go to bed. Where's my water? Here. Du würdest mich mal gerne Deutsch reden hören. Das hört sich aber dann immer sofort so komisch an, wenn man davor so lange Englisch geredet hat. Okay. What next? Right. The missiles were weird. Very weird. Mostly because they were not rotated in the correct direction. So most important thing we need to do is image angle equals direction. $11 p.m. where I am, okay. Okay, I think at the moment they can't hurt us yet. Plus they're a little bit too tiny. Let's make them bigger. Usually what you want for missiles like that as well is that they fly some curves, you know, they don't just fly in a straight line. That makes them look a little bit boring. I guess we'll give them... Let's give them a direction offset, which will be a random variable between 20 and... okay, between 10 and -10 basically. Plus -20. And then we'll just add that to the direction here. And if that is not enough to make it look cool, then we can still animate that. Weak spot, what spot in the top? When you can only shoot upwards. That would make sense. Okay, those missiles are a little too big now. I feel like it would be awesome if they would fly the curves in a way so they could hit me behind walls. Let's see if we can make that happen somehow. I feel like we can make that happen. We can most definitely make that happen. Just make the starting angle a lot larger. Okay. So this should reduce the offset over time. If I'm not mistaken. And then they can probably control a little better when they have a little bit of damping. You think the boss is too big? Don't you think the boss should be big? Otherwise it might feel a little bit underwhelming for a boss. I feel like the boss needs to be big, especially considering the fact that we somehow need to fit the face of the AI on there. That face that you can currently see in the background, that somehow needs to fit on there. Let's have a look at that again. The missiles don't kill me yet. That already looks a little bit like I want it to look. That's a little too fast. And too many missiles, yeah. That's true as well, I guess. Not too many now, but too many once I'll have to dodge and shoot them. And then they all clump up on top of each other. That's not nice either. So let's first of all reduce their number quite significantly. And then let's make sure they can actually destroy us so we can get a feel for how difficult this actually is. Duplicate event, collision with boss missile. Bye, 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 bye. Bye now for real, Koki. When people say bye 3 times in chat. And you know if they're still watching. Ah, dang it. They're not reset properly. Room reset here. Let's just do with object, boss, missile, do instance, destroy. I feel like designing a boss fight is the perfect thing to do on stream. I'm glad I saved that. Oh yeah, now these missiles are actually quite dangerous. They don't really fit into the level in terms of their color scheme, so we'll have to fix that. Ah, no! Totally forgot that would be next. Oh, the missiles are kind of fun to play against now. Ah! Oh, there are some crazy exploits you can do here. That feels like cheating, just standing behind the wall down there. That's like I feel like that is one of the problems that we need to solve somehow. How can we encourage the player to move around in the level a bit more? Like once you have the gun, you're really mainly encouraged to stand under the boss. Anything else doesn't really make sense. But I want players to use the entire level and not just the bottom 2% down there. Yeah, I really like these missiles. Pretty nice now. Damn it. I'm just ashamed that I can't test shooting them because I never make it that far. Oh, no, 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 don't hurt me, please, no. Should you perhaps lose your gun every once in a while? Should it perhaps do a shockwave or something, and then then you lose your gun and you have to select a different one, something like that? I feel like we definitely need to do something to encourage the player to move around a bit more, because having an objective and a different objective than just standing below the enemy is definitely fun. Don't want to stand under the boss for the entire boss fight. That sounds really dumb. Or at the very least there's this attack which prevents me from camping down here. If this follow attack wouldn't be, then camping down here would be a perfectly viable option. Yeah, those missiles maybe as well. Oh jeez, how did I dodge that? Okay, now the boss is already out of HP due to my awesome exploits. Okay, so what we'll do is once the boss has lost a certain amount of health, you will lose your gun and you will have to select a different gun, which is pretty awesome because then we can use the gun that maybe shoots to the right or downwards. Which then of course means, what exactly does it mean? That you don't stand down here, but if you have to shoot it from the side, then you have to go here or here, and then if you have to shoot it from the top, you have to go here. So that will hopefully bring a little more variety into this. I'll just create 2 objects real quick as spawn points for these guns. Baja baja, this one will be called object boss gun spawn 1. This one will be called object boss gun spawn 2, and then I'll give them a sprite so we can find it a little more easily here. Circle. Then can make sure that second gun will spawn here. And where should the last gun spawn? Yeah, probably down here. Okay. Now we'll do it like this. We'll just add a new section down here. We'll try this out, okay? Stick with me for a second. We'll have this implemented in no time. If HP divided by HP max is smaller than 0.66. So if the boss HP falls under 2/3, then the player will just lose his gun. Object player dot gun equipped will be -1. If the gun that is currently equipped is 1, that is. Let's just add that in there as an additional check, because we need to do the same for a different gun in a second. Then we will instance create layer. We can use this as a spawn position. Pretty much the only purpose of this object anyway. Why? For the layer, we'll use minigames. Minigames. Gun 2 is the one that shoots sideways. And then if the equipped gun is 2, and VHP is under 1/3, and we'll spawn gun 3 at position 2. And then all that's left to do is making these 2 invisible, and then we're ready to go. Jabba and Jabba. By the way, what do you think about that idea? Haven't looked at chat in a while. Did you make the music yourself? For a lot of levels, yes. For this level, not yet. This is placeholder music simply because I didn't get around to making the boss fight music yet. Now let me have a look at some music here. For example, the main music here is something I made. I'll just have to make the boss fight music as well. Still some things left to do here and there. Let's check if everything works as intended. Problem with testing this is I have to get there. Okay. Ah, stop following me! Oh. Just oh, damn it! Damn you, missiles. Can I even get the boss down to 1/3 of its HP? Let's find out. Yes, already made a little bit of damage there. Very nice. I really like that this... Oh. That was way faster than expected. Shit. Oh, jeez. This turned out really difficult. As all levels do. Usually I have to try really hard to make levels easier. Making levels easier is such a hard thing to do. Now that gun is already lying there at the top. That is a bug. That is a buggly bug. How do we fix that? Let me think. Oh, they don't even have any logic in them. That's interesting. Okay, that means the logic is probably in the player. When you collect the gun... Ah, just move way out of the way. Well, I guess I'll give those guns a quick fix bool variable. Where are they? Here, shooter. And that bool will be called something like... Destroy after collection. That will be false on default. But if it isn't, then we'll just destroy the gun. What's wrong with this line? Oh, there's a dot missing. Okay. See, and obviously if you do that a couple of times, then the code starts getting really, really messy. Can happen to you in Unity as well, but I feel like in GameMaker it happens so much more easily. I don't know why that is. Okay. Now where do I spawn those objects exactly? Probably in maybe the baby boss, right? There we'll just have to set that variable to true. And that should fix the issue. Jalenko, have you just joined? Have you missed the entire beginning of the stream? The whole map could phase in and out. Do something that the platforms you hide behind can deactivate for a couple of seconds. I feel like hiding is already not a viable strategy due to the chase attack and also due to the new gun mechanic we just implemented. But if it turns out to be necessary, then we can do that. Not a bad idea. Okay. Okay, now I lost my gun because the boss is down to 1/3 of its HP. And I lost instantly after that. What a pity. What a pity. No! Why is there still a second gun there? I guess because I didn't even collect it and then... okay. Means if the guns have this variable, then they need to be destroyed when the level restarts. Okay, we can implement that as well real quick. Room reset with object gun do loop. Here we go. That should solve the issue for once and for all. Nice different music, yeah, but still placeholder music, Delinquents. Yeah. Not my music yet. Ah, what an epic fail. Okay, now I lost the gun. Now I didn't die to the lasers, which is actually great news. Now we have the gun that shoots sideways. Which I can already tell. Oh, yeah! Makes it a lot trickier, but I like that. That means we have to find a different place on the level then. Yeah, I really like it. I like it. I like it. Not even sure if we need to give the boss any more HP. It feels like you can drain the HP of that boss really quickly, but like it's hard enough to still be quite a challenge. And of course all of that is still phase 1 of the boss. We'll have at least one more phase where it turns into a giant swirl of colors. Perhaps even a third phase. Considering how long it took me to make this, I feel like we should go for 3 boss phases. Oh, I always forget about the lasers. That is really something you have to remember and internalize. Should we make those rockets look a little nicer? That's something you should spend time on. Damn it, I'd really like to test the entire level, but it's... I can't. I'm not good enough. Okay. Okay. No! I'll never get any further than that. Should we make the boss easier for the sake of testing? Okay, let's do it. I always feel like cheating when I do that though. I'm not a cheater. Okay, I am a cheater, perhaps. Boss. Like, what kills me the most? The stupid bullets, right? That are flying in all directions. Who cares about those damn bullets? You think there are too many missiles? Could easily get annoying. I feel like actually the missiles are one of the most fun parts in this level because they're relatively easy to get rid of even without shooting them. I haven't tried shooting them. They probably have too much HP to shoot them. Okay, I just realized that this chasing mechanic oftentimes kills me as well. No, don't chase me! Don't chase me! No! That creates really intense moments, I like it. Okay, now let's get the second gun, let's not die is what I meant to say, but I'm always getting so excited for the second gun that I completely forget about the laser attack. Come on, I already made it easier. There are no excuses anymore. Here we go. After that there will be lasers, so I'll stay here. Yeah, missiles are actually quite hard to shoot, so they should probably just die as soon as they... Shit, I tried to jump over it. As soon as they hit one bullet, they should probably just die. And then the last phase of the boss fight where you have to shoot it from the top will probably be the hardest one. Why am I on the top? I have to be below it. Are you already getting bored of this level? They do too much playtesting. But sometimes I just get really eager to complete my levels. If I can't complete my level, then who can, you know? Whereas maybe I shouldn't say that, because usually players are way more skilled than you expect them to be. In Islanders, a lot of players just completely broke our game because they played too well. Forgot about the lasers again. Damn it. Jonas is a cheater, exposed. Yeah. I admit to cheating. Just noticed that it's the AI's face. I watched your previous video and it looks perfect now. Thank you. Yeah, I think the blocky look of the AI fits a lot better to the style. How much hours of playtime do you think the game will have? I'm thinking something like 3-4 hours usually is what I think it will take. So it's not super long, but hopefully it will be a fun time, and of course it will have hopefully a little bit of replayability for those who want to get a better score. The amount of your deaths will basically be your score. If you want to get a better score, you can play it again. But if you just want to make one playthrough, something like 3 or 4 hours is what I'm thinking. Okay, and once again, sorry for not reading a lot of these messages. It's just not possible anymore. If I want to make progress on the game and read chat, I feel like that's not really possible. Would be possible, but then we wouldn't make any progress on the game. The particle effect when hitting a boss is the same as when hitting a platform. Yeah, that's simply because, as you might realize, this... Oh, I forgot switching to to this camera again. This boss is not exactly super polished yet, and I'm sure we'll get to all of that once the polish level goes up a bit. Can't you reduce the boss's maximum HP for the sake of testing? Oh my god, that's such a genius idea. Why didn't I come up with this? Thank you. That's a really good idea. Let's go for 500. Jelenko, for you 8 hours, probably. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's easier to test. Now we can die. Perhaps this is still difficult enough. Let's see. And then we somehow need to communicate that a little better, that you lost your gun and why you lost it. Pew, 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 pew. Okay, I lost my gun again. Where is it this time? Let's hide from the lasers here. Here it is, and now we have to shoot the enemy from the top. See, now we're definitely encouraged to move around the level a lot. I really like this. It's not just standing in one corner. It's not a very exploitable boss. No, please, no, 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 please, no, no, no. Come at me. Should the final gun really be at the bottom? After the first two guns were at the top, maybe putting it at the top again. It's a little more intuitive, if you know what I mean. I think we should probably put it at the top. Or should we? I mean, the advantage of putting it at the bottom is that you then have to go to the top again in order to shoot it from the top. It is really silly, even with massively reduced HP, this boss is still too hard for me. But I kinda feel like this is probably the difficulty it should have, right? Shouldn't be able to defeat the boss in just one go. What I really like about the boss so far is that it doesn't feel like a very long boss fight. Whenever I die, I feel like I can get back to where I was in 20 seconds or something like that. Hope we can keep that we'll never have to replay more than maybe a minute or two. Jow, jow. Now it will chase me. Ah, jabaja. And now we have to remember that the lasers will be next. Now let's get the last gun. And let's bring it on. Okay, I defeated the boss. Nice. Now it needs to gloriously explode into 1,000 pieces, and then the next phase of the boss fight can start, which will probably take place in a different room. Cool, 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 cool. Phase 1 of the boss fight complete. Very nice. Hey Jonas, this looks sweet. Do you really mean that? Does it really look sweet? It plays sweet. Let's say that. You can definitely tell it's Portal inspired. Yeah, awesome. It is Portal inspired for sure. If I did drugs, I would take some before playing this. When the person making the game can't kill the boss, lol. Yeah, but that was with massively reduced HP count, so difficulty balancing, once again, is a surprisingly time-intensive task. I already did the difficulty balancing for most of my levels by now, but I feel like that is something I should say for later, because it takes such a long time. Like, you don't want to watch me do the difficulty balancing for that, because it's literally me playing the level for 3 hours and making minor adjustments to all of the variables. Not sure how entertaining that is to watch. Okay. Should we actually get started on the second phase of the boss fight, or should we just end the stream here? I'm not really sure. I'm out of water, which is sad. Hey, Confusing Future Games, welcome, welcome. Oh, Game Dev Underground is here. Game is looking fantastic. Tim, when will we get another video from you? Make it happen. We miss you. But of course, take your time. When you're finished with your holidays, we want another video. Make it happen. Actually, did you make another video? I'm not sure, because sometimes if you don't watch a YouTuber for a while, it doesn't show up anymore. Let me look. Bidi babu. No, not yet, as I can tell. But okay. That's okay. We'll wait. You're from Germany, right? Yeah, you're from Germany. Oh, you're hiding. Why is that, Tim? Why are you hiding? Oh, fantastic. There's a certain shortcut on my keyboard that I use to switch between the different camera views, and for some reason that sometimes closes GameMaker. Like, I should probably put this to a different key combination. In fact, I already did, but I keep using the old key combination that keeps crashing GameMaker. It's really annoying. Make another stream for the second phase, cliffhanger. Yeah, we should probably do that. Yeah, I mean, this was fun. I guess we can just do another stream tomorrow or whatever. I'm not sure. I think I'll definitely not stick to a regular streaming schedule, because I felt like sometimes having to stream every single day really stressed me out a little bit. I feel like this is a lot more relaxed and chill, where I just stream when I want to. Probably makes for better streams anyway. I'm about to place my own first game on Steam. Oh, that's awesome, man. Mainly because I've been inspired by you and Blackthorn Prod. Awesome. Very happy to hear that. Make it happen and send me the link. I will get it. Or better even send me a Steam key. Then I don't have to buy it. Yeah, I mean, phase 1 complete. I'm already feeling a little bit drained. I mean, it was not a massively long stream, but I'd also be okay with taking a break now. And as I said, I'm out of water. Oh my god, look at those. Have some water right here. I'll just put the glass here and wait for it to fill up. The self-filling water bottle. Awesome. I invented it. Finally, someone who made it work. Okay, then let's do it like this. I'll be reading chat for a couple more minutes. If you have any questions or anything you would like to discuss with me, then we can hang out and chat a little bit, and then we'll continue coding this another day. Don't forget, if you haven't wishlisted the game yet, that's literally just 2 clicks and it helps me out a lot. So if you don't mind and if you want to support the channel, then just wishlist the game on Steam. Highly appreciated. And other than that, I'll wait for the stream delay, and then perhaps there's something you want to talk with me about, or you just want to say bye, and then we'll call it a day. You'll go check it out, Sheepdog. Thank you very much. That is very good. Actually, let's increase the HP count of that boss again, and let's try it one more time. One last chance. Let's try to defeat it at 2000 HP. Will I be able to do it? Yes, I will do it first try now. Waterfall in the amp. Yeah. Why does wishlist help? Because it helps me to show up in the new and upcoming section once the game comes out. I mean, we'll probably obviously not show up there yet because it only will come out 2020. But wishlists... what was my hotkey for switching camera here? Wishlists help me to gain visibility on Steam, and of course all of the people who wishlisted the game will also be notified per mail, I think, when the game comes out. So, really just upside and no downside. Should I use Unreal or Unity? That depends on what you want to make. Unfortunately, I can't really give you a super educated answer as I haven't used Unreal a lot. But from what I've heard, Unreal is really good if you want to make like stuff that it goes a little more into a AAA-ish direction, where you have, say, let's say a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter with like real characters, shooter sort of things. I've heard that the Unreal Blueprint system is very good for that. And then from my experience, Unity just gives you a very huge amount of flexibility. You can do pretty much whatever you want in Unity. Graphics might be a little nicer with Unreal, I don't know. It really depends on what you want to make and what you care about. How much will the game cost? That depends. At the moment I'm thinking something like $10 seems like a fair price, considering the amount of time I spent on this and considering the length of the game. Like, it will be 3-4 hours of quality time, I guess. But the price point is still debatable. Might be higher, might be lower, we'll see. The Steam link for Will You Snail. Oh yeah, good pixels, thanks for posting that. That link is obviously in the description as well, if you wanna wishlist the game. Link is in the description. Will you ever really finish this game? This is like one of the things in game development, is that a game is never truly finished. You can never get a game to a point where you say, yeah, now it's finished. Even for Islanders, which has been out for like 3-4 months now, it still feels so unfinished. We still get a ton of bug requests and feature requests, and there are so many more things we would like to have in Islanders. So games that's just something I think you have to get used to, that games never feel finished. They it never feels like, okay, now I can put this down, now I can rest. I feel like that doesn't happen really. And I assume it will be the same for this game. Okay, here we go. We're on the correct screen. This is my final attempt at defeating this boss. And this is my final attempt at defeating this boss. Let's put on a real fight, I hope. Oh, that chasing attack is really hard to dodge, surprisingly hard to dodge. Okay, let's remember, now come the lasers. Here come the missiles. Okay. I think I dodged that somewhat reasonably. Where will we hide from the lasers? Let's hide here. Oh my god, do you see that? I'm almost defeating the boss. Will I manage to defeat my own boss? No, I went to the top because I thought the gun would be there. Gun is at the bottom. No! No, not the chasing attack, no! 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 Okay, that was the final attempt. We almost made it. It was fun. How about a level editor in-game? Yeah, like the list just never ends. A game is never finished. Level editor is No. No. There are so many hacked-in objects in my game that only work in a very specific context that making a level editor would be really annoying. Would have to rework a lot of things. Maybe the price of the game could be something you could ask the playtesters. Yeah. Thing is, if you ask people how much would you pay for this, I think you usually end up with a price that is probably lower than what people would actually pay. Deciding on a price point for your game is really one of the trickiest things. Like it's a very important thing to think about, and it's so easy to get it wrong. Because making it cheaper doesn't necessarily mean more people buy it. For example, there are two effects why making your game cheaper can actually be bad for your game. First one is perception. If your game is cheaper, people will think, okay, this game only costs $5, so why does it cost so little? Is it not good? Is it not long enough? Why is it so cheap? So that can make some people shy away. And then what's another really big underestimated factor is that Steam ranks games on its homepage depending on how much revenue they are making. That means games with a higher price point have a way higher probability of showing up on the front page of Steam. And of course, showing up on the front page of Steam in turn results in a way higher revenue. So it's a little tricky to figure out the sweet spot there. Which is better, learning C# or visual scripting? What is visual scripting? You mean something like visual scripting in Unity? Does that exist already? Or do you mean visual scripting in Unreal? I personally feel like if it's easier for you, you can definitely start with visual scripting. But in the long run, I don't think visual scripting is that much faster or more efficient. Like it doesn't save you all that much time. I feel like having it in a code structure looks more clean to me and faster to make. And it's actually, if you know how to do visual scripting, then it's very easy to do actual scripting as well, because in visual scripting you're basically scripting, right? You have variables in visual scripting that you just connect with lines, and once you figure out how to translate that into code, you might as well write it as code. So I would say if you find visual scripting easier for some reason, then go for visual scripting. But I'll just say that normal C# scripting is not really all that much harder, and saves you probably even saves you time in the long run. What is the max price you can set on Steam? I think the max price is really high, because on Steam you can also sell software and stuff like that. I think the max price is probably at least $1,000. I'm not sure there's a max price even. Probably something like 1,000, 5,000, something like that. Okay, we're running out of questions. What is on your head? Well, we solved that puzzle already. I think it's called egg holder, right? It's an egg holder. Would it be better to random choose state? Are you asking? So the boss chooses these attack patterns randomly. That depends on what you're aiming for. Of course, especially for something like the laser attack, where you have to hide between a platform, I feel like that would be really unfair if that would happen at random points in time, unpredictably. So we could choose the attack pattern randomly, but then what we would have to do is to give the boss a better tell, that perhaps it's charging a little bit in the center, and then it's shooting all of the lasers, so you have a little bit of time to prepare. That would be an option. But then just having it in a fixed order, I think, is completely fine as well. And for something like a final boss fight, I feel like a lot of the appeal from fighting a boss fight is figuring out the patterns and figuring out how to make it through those patterns. That sense of mastery and slowly figuring out the boss, I feel, is what makes a lot of good boss fights fun. So I'm not sure I would remove that aspect. I think having a fixed pattern is fine. It's a different story entirely if it's a boss you have to play against very often. If it's maybe a roguelike and you have to fight that boss multiple times, then perhaps yes, you could make a very good argument for randomizing attack patterns so it doesn't get old that quickly. In Unreal Engine 4, visual scripting has a lot more upsides. Yes, that is because in Unreal Engine 4, you have to code with C++ if you're not using visual scripting, and C++ is not, let's say, not as fast as C# to code with, probably. So I can see that point, that in Unreal, I would definitely have a look at visual scripting as well. I think in Unreal, I would use visual scripting as well, yeah. How come you started a YouTube channel? Well, you see the reason here. I started the YouTube channel so I could, that is the number one reason, so I can promote my games. And then the second reason is to help you and to hopefully inspire a lot of you to make cool stuff as well. That is my secondary, but also a very important motivation. I feel it's very motivating to me when people say, hey, you inspired me to make games. You inspired me to make this. You motivated me to finish this game. That is a really rewarding feeling. But like the main reason why I started this channel is because, as Tim Ruswick always says, you get 0 downloads by default. If you want people to download your game, then you have to do some marketing efforts, however they look like. I mean, my marketing efforts look like this at the moment, which I'm not sure this will be enough. Like I'm reaching a couple of people with this. Who knows what will happen? I'm not sure. What do I know? Say something in German. Oh no, we already did that. Switching between German and English is exhausting. Hallo, mein Name ist Jonas. Okay, here you go. That was some German for you. If Will You Snail is successful, will you keep making videos about it? Sure. I mean, I would like to make an Islanders numbers video as well. I just really have to double check the Steam guidelines. I'm always too lazy to do that. But once I do that, I could show you all of the Steam numbers as well from Islanders, perhaps. Okay, I think we're done for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a great time. Hope you enjoyed watching. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow when I feel like streaming. Otherwise, let's try to do at the very least one live stream per week. I think that is a reasonable goal. And yeah, I'll just stream the next time I work on the boss. I assume you want to see how the progress on the boss fight goes, and then I'll just do the more boring stuff off stream, like difficulty balancing. Before you leave, of course, wishlist the game, and see you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh no, choice.